I'm Tyler, your Remchuck, here to tell you I'm fucking disgusting, bro. And I generally stink like piss because I don't wash my hands. I piss on them. I piss on them. I piss on them.
Oilers Nation real life.
Full of piss. New pod, taking the piss. I piss on them.
I actually piss all over myself. The hands aren't even a problem.
Wow. Piss on them. Piss on them.
Oh, somebody drinking their own urine is totally plausible.
You can find a way to mix in a pee jar.
Full of piss on them.
Sometimes I don't even take it out. I just go.
Mm-hmm. I don't wash my hands. I piss on them. Piss on them.
Good show.
Shout out to Meat Watcher.
Yeah. So we have a guest coming up today, UFC fighter Mike Malott. Can you imagine if he was like in the waiting room and was like, oh, this podcast I'm about to join is starting. I'll give it a listen.
Hello.
What the fuck? Jesus. He probably wouldn't do the interview.
Wow.
Being honest.
We don't know that to be sure.
What if you just interviewed me and I pretended to be that guy?
Mm-hmm. How was your fight on Saturday?
Pretty good. I'm in good shape. I hope to be in better shape for the next fight.
There you go.
Do you know Mike Malott has a brother who plays for the Winnipeg Jets?
I did not know that. Are you 100% sure?
Jeff Mallott, 26 years old. He is, for the Manitoba Moose and Winnipeg Jets.
And it says there his brother played for him.
Mike Malott's younger brother, Jeff Mallott, is a professional hockey player who currently plays for the Manitoba Moose, the American Hockey League, and is a prospect at 26 years old.
Hey, great insight, Chalmers.
I put a photo up on the Oilers Nation Instagram of what I thought was a weird-looking Darnell Nurse playing for Sault Ste. Marie. And I'm like, whoa, he looks so different. Whoa. And then someone DMs are like, that's Elijah Nurse, you idiot, his brother. And I go, God. Darnell Nurse does not have a brother, Elijah. I think I just sent me a link. And I was like, he does look like off-brand Darnell.
They would make sense. They are related.
But I was 100%. Like, damn, Darnell's changed a lot since junior.
Cousin.
His entire facial structure's changed.
There you go.
What? Carson. Elijah.
Cousin.
It's his cousin.
Yes.
Not his brother.
Not his brother.
This is getting worse by the minute.
Oh, he's nurse adjacent.
Elijah does have a brother, Isaac.
How many of these nurses are athletes?
Some of these Old Testament names.
Isaac Nurse plays for the University of New Brunswick.
You can't miss with these genes.
Nope. It started Donovan McNabb and the Chunky Soup commercials.
Yep.
Wait.
And his mom. She was in the ads too.
She was. I remember.
Isaac Nurse was the captain of the Hamilton Bulldogs. Does that mean Steve Stales was there? No. Yep, he was. There you go.
Now I heard, granted it was your Remchuck that said it.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Stales might not come to Edmonton now. He might go to Austin.
Well, he's in Edmonton.
The guy who bought the Senators, right?
I mean, the guy that bought the Senators and Steve are tight.
Michael Landauer?
Yeah.
They're tight?
Yeah.
Like this?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. Is he going to try to take him? Who you get a call from? Steve Stales?
Not quite, but anywho.
You can take it. We can continue in your absence.
Yeah,
I'll be you.
Okay,
I'll go take it out.
Yeah, you go take your call.
Just put it on speakerphone.
This isn't even turned on anyways. We're not even really doing a podcast.
Well,
did you guys
now
hear
that he's gone.
Did you guys hear about Tyler?
Tell me more.
What happened?
Wears his underwear inside out every other day. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he flips them to wear the
He's
clean
not a
side.
daily washer. He's a flipper.
Yeah, you got to wear the clean side.
I knew it. I just didn't want to say anything in front of him.
Yeah, that's why we call him Skids your Remchuck.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that smell is.
You know, Liam, we could kill him.
We probably could.
We could hide his body.
River's right there.
And then people will be like, hey, did you guys see your Remchuck? I'm like, yeah, he was here like 5 minutes ago. He took a phone call and left.
Skid pants?
We're the last people to see him alive.
Oh, the last people to hear him.
But the three of us would have an alibi, though.
Yeah, we
So it
could
all
just
works.
cover for each other.
Yeah.
Ask me if I know what happened to your Remchuck's corpse.
Hey, have you seen Tyler's body?
No, man, but I was in a podcast with him with two witnesses.
And I was one of them.
Investigation closed.
Yep.
You guys see Floyd Mayweather fight John Gotti III?
I did see that, but I was more intrigued by the purse.
My first question is why? Why are they doing this? Floyd Mayweather, you have brick money of cash from here to tomorrow in your private jet. Why are you fighting John Gotti III of all fucking people?
According to Insider Sport, for 25 million bones is why.
He made 25. What John Gotti III make?
Allegedly $20 million.
Balderdash. There's no way he's fighting an unknown for only 5 million more.
I agree with that.
Your Remchuck, we plotted to kill you while you were gone.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. We thought we could get away with it because we would all cover for each other. And then Liam asked me like a fake cop question. Did I do it? And I held up.
He said no.
Alibis.
Yeah.
Everybody's got one.
That is a good point, actually. If there ever was a time to kill a person, it would be while you're recording a podcast with them.
We say on the air, you can hear him say, I have a phone call, and he left. That was the last we ever saw of him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because we stopped the podcast, righteous sack beating, back in here.
There you go.
Who is John Gotti?
I do
the
like that
gangster?
you were Googling it and spelling it in really fucked up ways.
Yeah,
How do you
Google
spell
didn't
it?
work.
I thought it was John Gotti.
He was a
free,
crime boss in the 80s.
but not three, but like free.
No.
Ah.
Because you put John, then Goodie.
Yeah, Gotti free.
And they made it work?
No, I just had to Google Floyd
Yeah,
You were lost.
You know what, Liam? I think you should do a little deep dive on John Gotti. Teflon Don.
I'll tell you the top hits.
Well-
Number 1, crime boss. Number 2, show on A&E called Growing Up Gotti.
Oh, I remember.
He has
And
a-
Little Kim did the intro song.
Yeah, fantastic.
That
show.
was strange.
Very odd.
How about this just popped up, so I want to pass it along. The Edmonton Elks announced that on the 25th, they're doing 1260 Day. And they're going to have a section where the staff of TSN 1260 will be, and all tickets are $12.60.
What the hell?
In that section?
Yeah.
Or in the entire
Was this
place?
prior to
That
the
section.
closure?
No, it just
On the
came to-
fly?
yeah, on
Does
the
this
fly now.
benefit the people of 1260 in any way?
I don't know. I had one of them texted me like an hour ago and I was like, hey, we're doing a TSN 1260 section. Like, feel free to stop by if you can come to the Elks game. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know it was just like to the public. So I guess all the listeners and stuff can go hang out with them. That's kind of neat.
We're making light, but 1260 shutting down. I
Sad.
find it actually very sad.
I agree.
Oh
It's
yeah,
sad.
it's brutal. I just turned off the radio when I got in the car yesterday.
Yeah.
Drove in
Listen to
silence.
it.
It was
You know what
fucking
else I
ice
also
cold
did?
too, man.
I took Virgin Radio off my dial.
As you should.
No more.
The media's fucked
Yep.
up, man.
Just like large scale like that is just so complicated. And like, it's weird that a big company like that is like in the media game, but clearly has no interest in being in the media game, you know? Anywho.
I think that there are a lot of really good people who work at that station who do a really good job.
Oh, yeah.
And to like on the air, pull the plug. I mean, I guess it's so everyone can't do like a victory tour where they tell everybody off,
Yeah.
but like that's cold blooded shit, man.
Should have had Gregor on today and let him do his victory tour.
Well, I actually am in the back end of OilersNation.com right now, Tyler, and Gregor is working on a story about what happened from yesterday.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh,
So watch out for that. Probably going to hit the website at some point today.
Well, there you go.
oh,
Yeah, obviously you guys know I have a lot of friends there and whatnot. So it's a bit of a tough day. But it's interesting how like the people on the inside, the people who work there, people who used to work there, people in the media space, like it wasn't the most stunning thing in the world. It was like, oh shit, they finally, like
Yeah.
Bell finally got to that point in their list of like time to exit. But like for listeners, like that's what I really feel for too, is like for me sitting in my car today, I was like, I got nothing to listen to. What the hell? Fire up some podcasts, I guess. But like for the everyday listeners who would have like not known anything was up, it's just kind of like, oh shit, you know?
I listen to
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion most of the day, so I don't really listen to sports radio. But,
Like you get into the deep cuts.
oh yeah, early work. Some of the mixtapes she put out before.
Not
she
even
went
on
pop.
Spotify.
No.
I gotta SoundCloud it.
Yeah.
when did 1260 start in Edmonton?
It was Team 1260 for a long time, Liam.
And before that, it was a country station. I think it was CF.
CFCW.
Yeah.
It was the OG CFCW, I think.
Yeah. And
Then it was
Ted used to
CFRN.
play music back in the day.
Mm.
Can you believe?
Yeah.
Because AM used to be the only M.
And the Oilers mascot at one point was the CFCW mascot named Critter
For real?
back in the early 90s.
That CFCW jingle will always live in my head.
Why don't you sing
Go
it?
ahead.
for us?
CFCW. Chalmers, if he was here, bless his soul, Chalmers would give us a good one.
Do you know what was a good era? And this was when I first moved to Canada. So this was my first induction into Canadian radio.
Mhm.
Was when Joe FM was still around.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's voicemail was, I listen to Joe.
You're damn right we
And
do.
you
We were
called him.
getting that paper.
You were like, what a weird country.
This is so odd.
It's all fucked up.
Well, there was a time before even that where it was Power 92 and you would answer the phone, Power 92 plays today's best music. Now show me my money.
And one time I phoned a kid and he answered like that. And I stopped being friends with him after. I went to school the next day and I was like, listen to this. You fucking answer the phone with the Power 92. And the boys are like, no, we're in grade 6. We got to get this
Yep.
scandal, put a lid on this shit.
His
Mhm.
mom's just next to him. Say the line. Say the line.
Say the line.
If you're going to pick up the phone, you have to say this. Picks up a little notepad.
Call display wasn't as prevalent in those days, you know?
Now, fast forward to grade 12, and a girl in my high school won the Power 92 mega prize.
Really?
She got like a Jeep Cherokee and like
That's
10
cool.
grand at Southgate Mall, all the cutlery you could put in your pockets. And she showed up in a brand new Jeep, and we were like, God damn. And she's like, Power 92 showed me the money, like in the thing.
Yeah.
She had that Jeep for years.
I know a girl who won Live for a Year from a radio station. So she
They
got.
let you live?
Yeah, they don't kill you. Everyone else dead.
Day 366, though.
Yeah.
You're out.
Giddy up. No, so it was like she had like $36K to like pay her bills. And then it was like all these things. It was like movie passes every week for the year, like beer or whatever for the year, breakfast coupons at like these places for like one a week for the year. And it was like, we're going to pay so you can live for a whole year.
That's cool.
That's pretty neat.
That is neat. Well, shout out to people at 1260, man, because there's a lot of good folks who lost their jobs. I think that
Sucks,
sucks, man.
Yeah, it's awful.
I just, one thing I thought about is just Tyler and I on Monday were talking about how there was the whole Nick Taylor thing and how he won the Canadian Open, like how Canadian sports is progressing so much. And now just these radio stations are just getting ripped out from everyone. And like people aren't even going to hear about some of the stuff that's happening if they're just casually driving around, right?
That's
Like it's
true.
just kind of.
But then you guys also said like they're also making odd choices, like when they closed the TSN station in Vancouver and replaced it with old stand-up bits.
Funny FM, AM, I
What
think it
the
was
fuck?
called.
Like, see, I'm not shocked that shut. Nobody's going to
Nobody
listen to
wants
that,
that.
garbage,
But-
but 1260 rocks.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like
They're also-
normally right now, if I was getting an article from Gregor, he'd be like, all right, can you get this set to go for 2? Because he'd be going live on the air and he'd want to talk about it. And today it's just static when I got in my car.
Yeah, it was funny yesterday. Me, him, and Frank have a group chat to organize when we're going to record the rundown. And yesterday, Frank goes, 10 a.m., 8 a.m. tomorrow. And Greg was like, I could do it all day. And then on the episode, I made a joke when my segment was done. I was like, oh, I'm out, guys. I'm going to go watch more of the US Open. And Frank was like, geez, what a life, Tyler. You know, some of us have jobs, right? And then just Gregor was like, well,
Oh, poor
No.
Gregor.
classic Greg's.
Gregor.
But I also think, I don't know, like from an industry perspective, I think it's just like a weird growing and like moment of change. But I think for the most part, like sports media is actually going to get to a pretty good spot.
If you didn't invest in your own social media and you were in the media and you're like, I'll always be the person on Funny 1040 in Vancouver, you got to get your own ship popping, son.
If you made your whole personality where you worked, kind of, right? Like,
or you just only did your social through the station or some shit like that.
Well, what's going to be interesting to me, at least now, is to see who does what now that this has happened. Like I think of Jespo as an example. When he left 630 Ched, he's turned it into something completely different on his own.
and completely better. Like he is better off there, right?
Because a lot of the guys in Vancouver did that, right?
They pretty much all did, yeah.
They all just got their
Winnipeg
own
Hustler,
stuff,
like
yeah.
he did that.
There's a guy named Hustler in Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Huss.
Winnipeg Sports.
Two names, Hustler.
Hustler. First name Huss, last name Lur.
Damn.
Interesting cat, hey?
Have you met Huss?
Huss.
I'm a lure guy.
Just wearing a mankini around.
Excuse me, Mr. Lur. Like I said, we got a guest coming up in a little bit. UFC fighter Mike Malott. He won. He was one of the 6 Canadians who won at UFC 289. We're going to talk to him for a few minutes about what it's like to win a UFC fight. I actually have some questions I have prepared for this interview.
Can we ask him what it's like to almost have Rogers Arena fall on top of you?
That's on my list of questions.
Did you guys see that one?
Yep. That was, so he was the guy walking
Yeah,
out.
he was him.
Damn, that guy's jacked.
Yeah, he is. So he's going to join us. He's going to pop up in the little window there at the bottom.
I'm curious if Vera gets to eat cheese, you know? Like he was shredded. I saw the video.
Man.
Like,
What?
what's his diet regimen?
Yeah, like
Leading up to a fight.
when you're trimming
What?
down.
What's his post-fight meal?
Yeah, do you get to go
Oh,
ham
yeah.
after and
That's
eat
a good
ham
question.
after?
We got to ask him that one.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, before we keep going.
Like, do you follow The Rock on Instagram when he has the cheat day Sundays?
Yeah.
No, I do not.
And it's just like
When he eats like 50 pancakes and shit, you don't see
it's
that?
fucking awesome. You'll be like cheat day Sundays, and here's like 2 tables of sushi.
Yeah. Then he eats and then just starts pounding on the table until it shatters beneath his hands.
Yeah.
Then he
Why?
goes, Fast and the Furious 70 coming up. Yeah.
Kevin Hart pops out.
Yeah.
Says a little
Of
joke.
his ear.
They
Mhm.
rattle off a quick Jumanji movie. They do another one.
Jumanji Live.
Yeah.
$4 billion the box office.
Yeah. The
It
Rock.
is amazing that The Rock went from being a wrestler to the biggest action star on earth, playing only himself.
Yeah.
He's not very diverse.
Yeah, he doesn't have a character he ever plays. Hey?
He plays The
Sometimes
Rock.
he has sunglasses.
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't.
That's a different guy.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes
like,
he wears
again,
a hat.
forgive me, but I don't like. I don't watch these movies. I don't watch any movies.
Because you used to listen to 1260 with all your time.
Yeah.
And now what are you going to do?
But do his characters have different names, or is he
No,
always?
it's always The Rock.
Rock, R.Ock, Mr. R. Ock.
But like, do they?
Dr. Ock.
So like in these movies, will Kevin Hart be like calling him like James or something? I don't know.
Like big fella. He always calls him big fella.
Yeah, like big fella.
And then he calls him Kevin Hart.
Yep.
K Hart.
Yes.
They are lazy movies when you think about it.
They're-
They don't even have different characters. They have the same costumes.
Yeah.
He does have the good fortune of different names, though.
He does.
Yeah, so you can't confuse his Jumanji character with his CIA character from his, that one where he jumps off the.
You want to hear the truth?
Skyscraper.
Why don't you Google this? Why don't you
Isn't
Google
that called
what's Vin
Skyscraper?
Diesel's real name?
Vineyard.
No. Vin.
Mark Sinclair? No shit. He had to change it to something
What a
cooler.
nerd.
Mark Sinclair sounds like a porn name. He can't-
Mark Sinclair sold me jeans.
Yeah, he's not making 10 Fast and Furious with Mark Sinclair.
Remember when Vin Diesel left Fast and the Furious to make Triple X after the first one? It was like, I don't need money. And then came back for the fourth one, like,
Yeah.
I really need money.
So he's right at the end of Tokyo Drift, the third one, which ended up being a prequel or something.
The one with little
Yes.
Bow Weezy in it?
Yeah, you know it
Damn
is.
right. Why didn't they let him be in it?
He named one of his kids Vincent.
Oh,
I need to honor
short
Vin
for
Diesel.
Vineyard.
What do you think his wife calls him? Mark or Vin?
Oh, stage names only.
I don't know. It's all about family with that guy. Call him whatever.
Yeah.
I actually watched Fast and Furious 9 the other day.
And
How many sittings?
It actually took me like 4. I just
I've never seen 1 second of Fast and Furious.
you can
Not
just see
even a-
one, and they're
not
not all
even-
the same.
Well, my
They-
favorite part about the Fast and the Furious series is that it started off as street racing, but now they're like flying to
They
space
went
and
to
shit.
space. I couldn't believe it, and they just so they have to
outrageous.
fly through this satellite in space.
Oh my lord.
And then they're like, well, there's no way we can get home. And then somehow they navigate this car through space to like a space station and they're saved. This is
Way to
ridiculous.
spoil it for me.
Yeah,
Sorry,
wow. Is this
everybody.
based on a true story or did you just ruin the plot?
It's just like and that
No, it doesn't
Michelle
work for me, man.
Rodriguez.
Nope.
She came out and said like there was 2 things. She said that these superheroes are getting exhausting because movies are getting exhausting because they're all the same. It was like, well, we made 9 of the same movie besides Tokyo Drift, which was slightly different.
Because I had a little bow wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
little Bow Wow.
And
Yeah.
then
He was
Vin-
selling sneakers.
Vin Diesel said there is no movie franchise that has ever had more success than Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, but Fast and Furious.
Arguably the truth.
is his
James
character
Bond?
is his character in the movie
Oh,
called
yeah,
Vin
yeah.
Diesel?
That's the
What
rock.
is he called in it? Dominic
Dom.
Toretto.
Dom Toretto.
Hey, yo,
I
I'm
live
Dom
my-
Toretto. There's
I
no
mean-
way I have body like
I
that
live my
anymore.
life quarter mile at a time, even when I'm in space.
And he sprints around in Timberlands.
Let me
all
steer
the
this
time.
car to this space station.
Mm-hmm.
It would make
Oh, he's
sense if Vin
special.
Diesel was the character's name in the car movie, though, right? Like we're all on. You
Dom
understand?
Toretto.
That should be his real life name, and he should have switched. Should have been
You
Dom.
know, like
in
Mark
real life.
Sinclair. You know what's really funny is rappers' real names.
But like who?
Wow.
Calvin Broadus.
Yeah, Snoop. We
Mhm.
can play this as a game.
O'Shea Jackson.
Oh, it's Ice Cube.
Oh, that's a
Mhm.
good one, though. O'Shea's a cool name.
Yeah.
I learned that one from the NWA movie, straight out of Compton.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Birdman's real name's Brian Williams, like Brian Williams, the Telecaster.
Hell yeah.
That's
Really?
funny, yeah.
That's funny. What's? Oh, yeah, I know Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. That's a cool name, actually. Curtis Jackson. That'll rock.
Like, what's NBA Youngboy's real name? Weird.
And
He did a live stream because he's on house arrest in Colorado. Hey, and he put this new album out, and he was going to do this like live stream thing, and then he didn't show up.
Contrail Deshaun Golden.
That's strange.
NLE Chopper, Bryson Potts.
There we go.
Lil Baby is Dominic Jones.
Have you seen the Lil Baby documentary on Prime?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like he snitches on himself a handful of times in that movie.
In what way? For crime committed?
Yeah. I feel like he does. I don't know how statute limitations work on certain aspects, but I feel like he rats himself out.
We got to stop snitching on
Yeah.
ourselves, people.
Mm-hmm.
You
Can't put it in your tunes either.
Listen to the new Gunna track where he talks about how
Yeah.
he didn't snitch.
Well,
Oh.
that's a tough one, man, because all they had on Gunna was he was in a 2-car convoy that got stopped, and the second car had guns in it.
Yeah.
And that's what he was in jail with no bail for 4, 5, 6 months. Like,
Stuff.
I don't even know that he snitched. Like, he said it was a gang.
Yeah.
But I don't know,
Oh, my
man.
apologies. Also, in the terrible news, you text me 7:30 this morning.
Wow.
Boosie.
I had to tell you as quickly as I heard.
What happened?
Boosie Badazz got arrested again, man. And this is like bad because he's going to go to jail for a while. And most of Boosie Badass's podcast appearances are about how it's so good not to be in jail anymore.
What did he do?
Federal gun charge. He got pulled over and he had handguns, and felons can't do that. So then he goes and has state gun charges. The lawyers go, they get the charges dismissed. He walks out of the courthouse and gets arrested by federal agents. And then tweets like, I love you, my kids. I'll see you in the next life or some shit, basically. Like,
That's messed up.
it is messed up, man. I love Boosie Badazz.
Sad.
He was hot in like 2006, 2007, then went to jail for like 8 years, was on death row, then beat the charge, got out and resumed his rap career.
I really enjoy sitting here watching Liam Google everything we talk about. It's very. You were just watching Mike Malott
I was
highlights.
watching Mike. He won his last fight in a minute. So I was very
The
curious.
one in
how he did it.
Vancouver?
Yeah, he won it.
Oh,
in
it took a minute?
a minute and 6
Goodness
seconds. Oh,
gracious.
round 2.
Oh, round 2.
So it's 5
Oh.
minutes and 6 minutes and
How do you win?
6 seconds.
Knockout?
Submission.
Hell yeah.
Choked a man's life out of him.
Whoa,
Fucking right.
You should say that line to him.
We're going to talk to him?
You
Coming up
scared
right
me,
away.
sir.
And then I also
choked the life out of
Googled Boosie Badass.
I can't control when I found out he got arrested. I had to tell you.
No, I just, what made me laugh is I was still sleeping. And when I woke up and I look at my phone, I'm like, the first thing I see is that Boosie Badazz got arrested.
Sometimes when he gets up very, very
It's
early.
tough in these streets, man.
Very, very early.
Do you always wake up at the same time every day?
No, but I'm waking up super fucking early, like 5 a.m. I don't even know why.
Really?
Just
Yeah.
What
you
time do you
sleep
go to
with
bed
your
at?
blinds open?
It's just the sun or summer. I go to bed like 10, 11, normal people times.
What
Time do you usually wake up at?
7:15, 7:30. Today I was late though. It was a late riser. I woke up at 8 today.
Yeah, I'm
I was
usually
late too.
7. if
Great
I-
day today, though.
7, 2 days a week. The other 3 days a week, 7:30.
You know what it was though?
There's
It's
7
like-
days in the week.
It's rainy and it was cold in my room and I was all bundled up and
Nice, eh?
Yeah, it was
Cozy
nice.
wozy.
It's nice.
Mhm.
But I
Fantastic.
sleep with my laptop next to me. So I'm up at 7:30. I sit up, grab my laptop. I'm at it. I don't
Just
waste
writing an
time.
article like with all this dream analysis you
Yeah.
had in your head.
I'm sure Amber loves that.
She's up at like 6:30, bro. She's gone.
Ah.
I just imagine you lying in bed, waking up, being like, the Oilers penalty kill. This is how I've solved it. And then you just start writing an article immediately. Why don't we put Derek Ryan on PK2?
Calls Jay Woodcroft. Jay,
That's right. It's Tyler again.
emergency.
PK2, Derek Ryan.
Hey, Derek Ryan's back.
2-year contract, $900K.
I
represented
love,
himself.
Baller.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Waz called him the Stormin' Mormon. Holy shit. Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, I saw that a couple of times on Twitter.
I don't think you can say Mormon in merch without getting a cease and desist in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day
From
Saints.
what's the
Yeah,
university?
Joseph Smith directly below.
Yeah.
At
They were
BYU.
BYU. Oh man, those TikToks, do you get those? It's like, what's the craziest thing you've seen happen at BYU, a big Mormon university? And it'll be a girl being like, one time I came out of the shower and I saw a boy. One time a couple got engaged after 8 days.
We have very different TikTok algorithms. I'll tell you that much.
Like, what's your go-to party drink? They'll be like, Sprite, Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
It's like,
no.
hell yeah.
Love those.
BYU. My favorite party drink is just pulling up to the function and eating Wilhock beef jerky.
Of course.
Everyone's like, what do you got? I'm like, 12
Delicious.
pepperoni sticks. What did you bring?
I like to show up to the party with a canister of alcohol in gaseous form and just inhale the gas. Just have a hoot, sit back, Damn, you're drunk on that smoke.
Anyways,
you
if
go
you
for the
want
Wilhock beef jerky.
to be like me, pull up with beef jerky to the party. Everyone will love you. A pack of wild
Don't
coyotes. will
share.
find you.
Just show up with a giant garbage bag full of beef jerky, sit by yourself and eat it in its entirety. That's
Mhm.
your Tyler Remchuk's party trick.
3 spots in Edmonton for Wilhock, and there's a butcher shop up on the, what would that be? The north side of St. Albert. The butcher shop up on the north side of St. Albert by the Costco also carries it. They have a big billboard that says it. People are making a lot of noise out in our office.
Yeah,
I think
they're
Watts
excited.
is saying Stormin' Mormon.
They're all excited.
He might be dancing a little bit.
That's
Yeah, a
Swinging
little bit of dancing. I see some stretching. Kennedy's
Swinging
doing
his
some
arms.
stretching.
He's preening.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Little calisthenics.
They're working hard out there. They are working hard out there.
I think one of the most annoying things about this podcast for the listeners is when we randomly grab somebody from the office and force them to answer our questions.
Well, Liam did wrong place, wrong time, buddy. If you had been working on your clips outside, you would have been free to go home.
Yeah,
But then he
that's
would have
true.
learned about Boosie Badazz.
And how to spell John Gotti III.
What if Boosie Badazz goes back to jail for years on end?
Who is like? Is this?
I didn't even know who he was.
Rapper
Boosie Badazz is a legit good rapper from the South who
from the South
falsely was sent to death row, man.
Oh,
Like, think about
boy.
that. And then not a lot of people get off death row.
Nope.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So he would always go on this rap podcast called Vlad TV. You ever heard about that?
Vlad?
Vlad TV?
No, I'm not part of the game. I
Interesting.
don't know. I don't listen to rap very much. Post
Vlad
Malone's
TV is
my
the
kinda rap.
number one hip hop podcast.
Vlad?
Vlad TV.
Like Vlad Guerrero?
Vlad Guerrero
Yeah,
TV.
kind of like Vlagro TV.
Vlad Guerrero.
Only in
TV.
Spanish.
And
Oh.
Boosie Badazz goes on there
He
on
has a
the
song.
regular.
Boosie Badazz has a song called Vlad
I
TV.
wouldn't doubt it because he went on Vlad TV and blew the hell up. And that's why he has like hip hop
You know, Boosie Badazz, I was reading about him this morning.
at 7:30 in the morning because someone rudely texted you he's been incarcerated again.
It's fine. I didn't see it until I did wake up. He was making 45 grand for podcast appearances
Yeah.
because he just says such outlandish
Yeah,
shit.
man. He has an opinion on everything. But his number one thing, he's got 8 kids, is that like, I don't want to go back to jail. I love my kids. It's sad.
It's sad.
Video, playful moment with caged lion goes terribly wrong. Tourist leg gets mauled.
Well,
Find out more, VladTV.com.
they blame Boosie Badazz for this too? Jeez Louise.
Oh, I had a dream about this podcast the other day. I had a dream that no one showed up and I had to do it. And I think it was you who was like texting me like, you have to do the podcast.
I feel like you just doing this podcast by yourself would be your favorite version of this podcast.
And in the dream, I didn't know what to do. So I just kept reading headlines. Like I was just like, this is in the news right now. And like, I'd read it and be like, and like, didn't know what to do next.
You could have said a little joke and pretend you're like, yeah, Jay Leno. No? Your little monologue
Maybe.
based on the news?
I don't think I could do it.
Come on.
Read NewYorkTimes.com and just me being like, so this Trump is getting
Dow
charged.
Jones is down
Yeah.
again. Hey, wow.
I'm Russ Dratwell with the business
This
of whatever.
This is such a weird website.
Read us some
Vlad?
headlines.
I can't.
Dallas County man goes viral with gruesome mugshot after his arrest bail set at 10K. Okay.
Stuff on these streets, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some.
YK Osiris is back in the news again.
Stephen A says he's surprised by Shannon Sharp's emotional send-off.
Do you think Kanye West's wife is real?
His wife?
What do you think? It's two
minder?
raccoons in a trench coat?
No, like a bloody intelligence agent assigned to him to keep
maybe.
him quiet.
As long as he's happy.
Well.
Kanye West's wife Bianca Censori steps out for KFC date shoeless. See pic. Click on that for me.
I like how he looks like he's a Roblox character.
He's wearing weird shoulder pads.
Yeah, like what is that?
What do
It's
I
his new thing. He's wearing really thin shoes, like Star Trek away mission boots.
Oh, I thought those were just him walking around in socks.
That's the new. Well, he doesn't have no shoe company, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that shit.
It doesn't make a ton of sense.
Not a whole lot.
I don't really understand what's going on. Is that
Kanye West?
Well, he's not looking great.
Well, he's got
Or
the
is he
shoulder
looking
pads
great?
on.
Does he got those shoulder pads on?
Is that what he wears?
Yeah.
Shoulder pads?
Okay.
He looks like he's a battle bot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he does. That's a great way to put it.
But like his wife, I'm not even
Well.
getting a read on this lady. She's like a senior
Very
designer at
confusing.
Yeezy, but she's an architect.
Well,
I'm like, that ain't cricket. And then suddenly they're married.
Yeah.
That ain't cricket.
Sometimes she has to walk around with that thimble looking thing covering her
That
head.
ain't right either.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. There's a lot of really weird shit going on.
A little bit.
If you take a step back and
the internet's getting to a weird place.
just society in general, I
Yeah,
think
that
is
too.
turning into a strange beast. No one's like official left to tell us what to think. So now we just have to make it all up on our own.
Oh, hey, did you guys see this? Ready for the hardest topic turn in your life? Kennedy posted these photos. Her grandma brought out her photo album, and her grandma had taken a bunch of original photos from inside the Oilers Cup party one year.
Yeah, the one she snuck into?
Yeah, so it's like all these never before seen photos of like Wayne
What?
Gretzky, the team.
Where are those? Are they on ON?
They're on the Oilers Nation Instagram. People can go check them out.
Kennedy, you done it again. Where's my phone?
But it's like all these cool, never before seen photos.
Let me have a look.
Yeah, take a peek at them. It's pretty neat stuff.
Wow.
Oh, I thought you were just getting up to leave and go talk to Kennedy. I was like, oh, that's fair. See ya.
Who's that sitting in the Stanley Cup?
As we
there,
all go
little baby?
quiet, and just look at our phones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oilers Nation.
Look at that. Crazy. These are cool. And man, even that one on the ice with no ads on the boards. Could you imagine? Now we get ads that are both in person and digital, Tyler. Very exciting.
Oh my, this is awesome.
Amazing. Young Esatikin in there, holding the cup with babes.
Look at Wayne and Janet.
Awesome.
Look at Tegan and all those weirdos.
Glenn Anderson wearing a nice white suit.
Who's that with his? Is that Crucial Instinct?
I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Pretty sure that's my Crucial Instinct.
1988.
That is pretty epic.
Could you imagine? There's the last photo in this album, by the way, fair listener. Go check it out. OilersNation.dot spelled out.
Cigarette branded scoreboard.
There's that. And also just all the people flooding the ice.
Yeah.
Imagine you're at the Oilers' home Stanley Cup win, and your first instinct is it's time to light a player's cigarette and jump on the ice.
There were simpler times then.
You know?
I mean, does it not just lumping together all three advertisements? Sitting with a player's cigarette, a nice cold Coca-Cola, and reading the Edmonton Journal.
God, what a
1988, bitch.
morning.
Brand synergy.
Checkmate.
Read what Jonesy has to
Back
say.
in the day, you could get the smokes at the concession stands in Northlands, eh?
Really?
Yeah. You could. Someone DM'd this to me a long time ago, and they're like, take me at my word, Wanye. You could go and get smokes, and the player cigarette brand that was on the scoreboard was all you could get there.
Well, I even just remember like this wasn't at the arena, but just going to bars. Remember the cigarette machines? You could just be like, I want a pack of Demorier.
Before our time, Liam.
Way before our time.
You guys are.
I'm reading did you guys see the Nikola Jokic? What's his name?
Nikolai Jokic?
Just his like quotes after how he's like couldn't care less that he just won the NBA.
I love it. He says he hates his job, essentially.
He said that he has lost his finals MVP trophy. He said, I really don't know where it is.
Because he threw Jamal Murray in the pool.
Yeah, and he says it's not there anymore, and so I don't know. So it's just like gone. And then there's a video
when he wanted to go back home, and he was told he had to stay for the parade.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Like,
Yeah.
Did you see photos of the parade? How sparsely attended it was?
No.
Oh yeah, that would have been today.
Yeah, Nikolai Jokic. He said something like, there's more important things. Like, this is just my job. No one likes their job. Or maybe they do. They're lying. He's a funny guy.
I liked it.
He's so weird.
There's nobody there.
You see what Vegas is doing for their parade?
No.
They're doing it at night on the strip in Vegas.
That is so
It starts
sick.
at like 8
Well,
p.m.
you got to do it at night. Otherwise, everyone will cook.
Well,
Yeah.
how bad do you want to be there?
And that's kind of cool.
All right. Our guest is here.
I hate that it's in Vegas. Like the Oilers should have won the Stanley Cup. It's fucking
They should have
annoying.
won the Stanley Cup.
I'm so irritated.
Speaking of winners, let's welcome UFC fighter Mike Malott to the show. What a nice pop in. Mike, how's it going?
What's going on, boys? How are you?
We are good. Welcome on to the Real Life Podcast. Let's start with the fact that, okay, I don't know what it feels like to win a fight. I've never personally been in a fight or accomplished anything athletic, but winning a fight is one thing. Winning a fight in Canada, when the UFC hasn't come to Canada in a handful of years and you're Canadian, you must still just be buzzing off this thing.
Yeah, man, I'm still riding pretty high right now. Not going to lie. It was, for me, it was a pretty picture perfect night. And then just for Canada and all the other Canadians on the card, you couldn't have written it any better than that, right? We had 6 Canadians on the card. We went 6 for 6. Everyone won. Everyone had standout performances. Some of the guys won when they needed it the most. Like my teammate Kyle Nelson won, and it was like a do or die fight for him, and he looked the best he's looked in the UFC. Like Jasmine Jasdavicius, my teammate, had an absolute killer performance against a ranked opponent, and she finally got a number beside her name. Like, we're all climbing up at the same time, man. And then I got to, hold the fort down at the end. Got to be the last Canadian fighting. Got to come out of those cheers, man. The crowd was roaring. Like I go back and listen, watch the fight and listen to like the in-cage interview after. And I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs because I couldn't hear myself. I couldn't hear anything. I didn't know if they could hear me anymore because it was so loud in there. Like I'm watching it back on the, the video, and I'm like cringing a little bit, just looking at myself, scream in front of everybody. But I'm like, I kind of forgot, like, oh no, they'll hear you on TV, man. Like you don't need to scream at the top of your lungs. But I couldn't hear anything, man. I couldn't hear the sound of my own voice. I couldn't hear myself on the projectors because everyone was screaming so loud. It was one of the best nights, maybe the best night of my life.
That is crazy. Also, when you were heading out there, you mentioned how loud it was. Didn't the stanchion almost fall on you?
Yeah, so the guardrail that they had, which I thought was like an actual bolt-in railing. It's not. It's like guardrails that you move on angle to the to divide the stairs and the seats from stopping people from falling off. Everyone's like leaning in, they started my walkout song and they're like, we're going to start it for 20 seconds and then the camera's going to go on you and then you're going to walk just to build up some hype, get everybody excited. I'm like, well, mission accomplished. I guess you guys got everybody excited because everybody like leaning into high five and one half of them fell in and almost landed on me. They landed on one of my cornermen, Chris Prickett. His leg got landed on and hip got landed on, but he walked it off like a champ. I got, I sidestep, Heine, get over those guys, and just like went back to being focused, like tried not to focus on it at all and forgot about it 3 seconds later. Like by the time I got to the cage, it didn't register that had happened. And, luckily all my cornermen made it out too. Cause that didn't occur to me either that they might've been hit by the railing. I didn't realize how far it went back. Like I thought it was just like the first thing. A couple people fell in and, I ducked out of the way and I'm like, okay, that sucks for them, but focus. And then watch the video back. I'm like, oh no, it was a bunch of people and they fell from high up. Like that would have sucked for them. And it would have sucked if I had gotten stuck under there, so glad it all worked out.
Yeah. You mentioned the other Canadians there and 2 of them being your teammates, but how close knit is the community of Canadian UFC fighters? Like when you go 6 for 6 like that, are you all like hanging out after or whatever? Or did you have a chance to like chat with them?
Yeah, so 3 of them actually are my teammates. So Diana Bobita was the last. She's Romanian, but she's been living in Canada the last 4 years, and lives with my coach and is a teammate of mine. So she was the 3rd Canadian on the team. I hadn't met Marc-Andre Barrio and I hadn't met Ayman Zahabi before this weekend, but I met both of them. We were all staying on the same floor and kept bumping into each other all week, and we're giving each other good vibes and good energy and wishing each other the best of luck and rooting for each other. So by the end of the week, it's like when you're a kid and you go off to camp and you meet kids like that week, and by the end of the week you're like, that's my best friend. It's like, you met that kid 5 days ago. What are you talking about? It's kind of like that where you're like those are my boys. Like I barely know them, but those are my guys. Like you're rooting for them so aggressively, right? And Ayman killed it. He had a tough fight from what I had heard. I didn't look up his opponent much, but I had heard the guy who was fighting was really good. And he slept that guy immediately. And then Marc-Andre had the fight of the night against Eric Anders, who's another killer. So it was just like from top to bottom, we had unbelievable performances. Like Kyle Nelson, coming off a few tough fights in a row. He hasn't had like any easy fights in the UFC. He's fought killer after killer. He's coming off a draw against Dooho Choi, I believe. He needed to win this one. And then who do they give him? They give him like an undefeated prospect. Like this guy's got a lot of hype behind him and he beats him. Like I said, Jazz, she's fighting a ranked fighter who's like way younger than her and jacked, barely making weight. Jazz kills her. Like we all just had some pretty solid tests ahead of us, and all of us just like passed with flying fucking carpets, bud.
Yeah. What's a camp like going into a fight like this? Like, how long do you have to prepare for it?
It really depends. I hear guys say like, 6 to 8 weeks, and I hear different things from different fighters. Part of it for me is like, when did you find out about the fight? Because to be honest, like, I've heard about fights 12 weeks out, and I have guys saying like, so when does camp start? I'm like, I don't know, 2009 when I started training and haven't stopped since. Like, it doesn't really make a difference. Like, this is the only week where I'm not really training. I'm like trying to have like a full reset, empty the glass completely so that I can come back in and not feel burnt out for the next one, and relax a little bit and let my body heal and mind just kind of reset. But for the most part, like once I get back into it, like next week will be a little bit lighter. And then the week after that will just be like basically camp. It's camp without a date in mind. So where a lot of guys are like focused on, okay, well, I don't know what guys do. There are a lot of guys that are like, yeah, I kind of train between fights, but once there's training camp, I pick it up. I'm like, you're crazy. If you aren't spending all day, every day trying to get better at this sport, then I feel sorry for you, man, because there are people like, there aren't a lot, but there are guys like me out there who are obsessed with this. And this is what they do. Like, they don't have a lot of other things that they do in life other than spend time with family and R&R. But like, this is what I pour my passion into. I put so much into this. So like, one, because I enjoy it, but two, it's like there are other guys like me. Like I'm gonna have to fight somebody like that, and maybe I already have, but I want to feel as prepared going into these fights as possible. And as much as there are like kind of ups and downs before fights, like one thing I continually feel that brings me comfort leading up to a fight is like, okay, well, if you're nervous or you have self-doubts, between you and your opponent, who would you rather be right now? I'm like, oh, I'd rather be me. And that's like, that centers me again. I'm like, fuck, I'm nervous. This guy's good. I mean, the last guy I just fought was a killer and he was getting no respect and I was brought in to beat him. Everyone thought he was just being teed up to lose to me on pay-per-view. I'm like, no, this guy's really good. Like, he's a lifelong wrestler. He's a Muay Thai champion. He's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's competed in professional grappling and professional Muay Thai. He's finished 8 of his 9 opponents. Like, the loss that he had in the UFC, he took on 9 days notice against a guy who's now 14-0, and he was winning that fight. He was up 2 rounds on him before he, started slowing down and got caught. Like, it's like, shit, man, this is a super tough guy. It's, super tough guy and probably going to be hard to look good against him. Like, I can't afford to make any mistakes. And we just put in so much work into this fight, so much mental work, so much physical training, day in and day out, and made like slight adjustments from past camps. Like, didn't just stick to the status quo training camp or training schedule. We constantly are like analyzing the process for, any ounce of extra juice we can squeeze from this fruit. But I mean, it worked out, man. Like I said, I didn't beat him the way I beat him because he's a slouch. He's a killer. He's mentally tough. He's good everywhere. There were no holes in his game. I didn't look anywhere and be like, okay, well, he sucks here, so I'll just do that. Like, dude, he's good everywhere. Like, that guy's very legit. So to get the win and the way it looked, I was really happy with that.
We were joking before you hopped on about how on every Sunday on Instagram, The Rock does his like cheat day where he just like eats whatever he wants. And it's like an insane thing. When you're done, you've accomplished the goal, you've won the fight. What's your celebration like after? Is there anything you like special you treat yourself to in the next like 12 to 24 hours?
For the right after the fight, I'm not a big drinker, but I do like I've gotten into, just because my parents drink a lot of red wine, I've ended up like kind of really liking it. I cut it out through camp. So just afterwards had like a big glass of red wine. And honestly, like the big reward for me was just like, we all kind of hung out in the lobby. It was me, Jasmine Jazdavicius, our corners. I had my fiance was in town. Her family was in town. My parents, my aunt and uncle, my siblings, 2 of my 3 siblings were in town. Some of their friends. It was just, so we just found like a corner of the hotel lobby, and it wasn't like a big party or anything, but everybody had a beer or 2, and there was a little bit of food. And it was just like really nice to just kind of bask in the glory energy and the vibe of like everyone having this big collective exhale. And like, man, not only did it not go badly, it went just about as well as it could.
Yeah.
And we all got to share in that together. And that just was so special for me. So we got to have that this time. Last time I won in February in Vegas, it was very similar. We just all went out. It was a much smaller group, but we all just went out for sushi after and just kind of shared some words about the camp and the fight. And it's a really simple way to celebrate, but it's most meaningful to me.
Speaking of your siblings, this is a hockey podcast. So I'm going to ask you, I'm looking at your brother Jeff's hockeyfights.com page right now. Yeah. And I haven't dug into if he's winning a lot of them or if he's losing them. But do you ever see your brother drop the mitts and then call him after and be like, all right, man, here's what you need to be doing a little bit differently?
I train with him. So I train my brother. So when he's home for the summer, so he's home for the summer now. So he comes to House of Champions MMA with me. My striking coach, Crew Alin, would, without question, adopt my brother given the opportunity. Like, he loves my brother. So he's like working mitts with him. I'm working mitts with him, giving him things that we think might be able to help in a hockey fight. Like, obviously it's very different from MMA or Muay Thai or boxing, but just kind of keeping things simple for him. So he puts like actual work into making sure he can beat dudes' asses during the year. And the kid follows through. during the season, man. I've seen him dust some guys. He's a big kid, hits hard, and he's not afraid to get in the fight. So it's pretty sweet watching him drop the gloves. We always have the games on at the house, and sometimes I'll be walking through, especially in camp. I'm really focused on what I'm doing, but just there's been a few times where it's perfectly timed as I'm walking through and watch for a couple of minutes. He drops the gloves and just absolutely pummels a dude. So yeah, man, super proud of that kid.
23 goals this year as well in the A. So he's putting something together down there. Mike, congratulations on the win, man. It was unbelievable. Like we spent a couple weeks. Did
you just say he scored 23 goals this year?
I think so, right? Did I read that right?
Is that what it says?
I think so. I'm on his hockey DB. Yeah, he had 23 in 71 games with the Moose.
Bro, this shit keeps happening, man. This is fucking wild. Okay. Contender Series. I get signed to Contender Series. He's number 39. How long did it take me to finish my fight? 39 seconds. He played his first preseason NHL game the same day or the same weekend I got signed to Contender Series, both number 39. Okay, he scored 23 goals this season. The Canucks pull me aside and say, hey, we want you to meet a couple of the guys in the Canucks after weigh-ins. Wish me good luck. I'm like, okay, thanks, guys. Enjoy the show. They're like, oh, we got a gift for you. They pull out a jersey. It says, it's a custom jersey. It says Mallot on the back and then number 23, which I assumed was for, 2023. I'm like, oh, that's a cool coincidence. If it ended there, that's a cool coincidence. But how many goals does he score this year? 23. How many times have I been hit in my entire 4-fight career with the UFC? 23, dude. We just posted this. This fucking weird shit keeps happening, dude. I'm living in a simulation. We're living in a movie. I don't know what's going on, but this is fucking wild, boys. So weird.
That is wild. I just rattled that off the cuff. It's a good thing I right.
It's so weird, man. If you wrote any of this stuff in a movie, you'd be like, that's corny as hell. None of that shit happens in real life. Like, dude, why?
You know how many goals he scored last year in the American League?
How many?
23.
Fucking go! Oh my God. Dude, this is weird. This is weird, man.
Oh, man.
Crazy this is happening on the podcast too, man. This is great.
Yeah, that is quite the way that's quite the way to end it. Mike, man, it was a pleasure chatting with you, man. You're a beauty. Congrats on the win. And we'll chat again before your next fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, boys.
There you go.
Later.
Mike Malott, he is a UFC winner. And that was a fun way to end it off as well. So what a beauty. What an absolute beauty. All right. What's up? That was funny. It's a lot of 23s happening at once.
Have you ever seen the movie 23?
Oh, another one.
It is with...
Isn't that Jim Carrey one?
That's who it is, Jim Carrey. My fantasy football league is now called 23 because of that movie.
Thank God you didn't tell that.
I know. I would have
lost his mind.
Out. It is a crazy movie. I think 23 is like the most common combination of numbers or something like that. Supposedly, that's what Jim Carrey told me. Anyway.
Don't tell him that.
3-2 is the most common NHL score. 4-2 is the second most common NHL score.
3-2 is just 2-3 the other way.
Yep.
Oh, that is
Mike Malott, UFC
In a
fighter.
mirror. If
He seemed nice, but he's a killer.
nice.
Let's get real.
Oh yeah,
Like we're all joking and throwing this and that and the other. If that guy was locked in the metal cage with you, you'd be dead within 3 seconds.
I was as you were talking to him, Tyler, I was looking up some highlights from Mike Malott, just like cruising YouTube and shit. And he will straight up kill you.
He has had 12 MMA fights.
23?
Only one has gone the distance.
12?
Which he drew.
1 + 2 is 2.
Quick math.
1 + 2
Every
is 3.
single
Make
one.
fun of that guy. He'll
besides
kill us
the one
all.
that
He'll kill
went
us all for
last
sure.
fight has gone 1 round.
He's a killer, man.
Yeah, and then the other one was a minute in the second round.
When he's like, I have
Realistically,
no other interests. I train 24 hours a day, and if you don't, I'm going to kill you and eat your soul. I'm like, ooh. Okay.
Realistically, Liam, you're standing in the octagon across from Mike Malott. How long do you think you can kind of juke and jive before he gets his hand on
Run
you?
away, Liam.
Not long. I might just sacrifice myself.
Just run at him in a kamikaze move.
Arms wide open. Take me now.
Just run at him full tilt, head down. Try and knock him out when you run at him.
Fist high. You will not see it coming.
See, if the UFC really wanted to grow the sport, this would be what we would get to watch. Rather than like John Gotti against Floyd Mayweather, it'd be like Floyd Mayweather against a fan. And everyone does 50-50 and one person wins and one person fights.
It's like the new version of Pros versus Joes.
But boxing.
Yeah.
Or MMA.
Yeah.
He
Liam
would
versus
pull on
Mike
your
Malott.
shin and your femur would snap in half.
Oh,
Probably,
he's
I just imagine he would grab my head and pop it off the shoulders, just quick as a GIF.
Oh, cherry popper.
It's a wild little sport. It's just these people who just a variety of fighting skills just go out and just do whatever they can do.
How
kill the other
long
person.
maximum do you think you could last? I give myself less than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 seconds,
But if they-
max.
If you fed them a fake scouting report, if you're like, hey, like this guy's legit, he looks like a string bean, like you got to take him serious.
I'll be your hype man. Like,
Yeah.
look out for your
Okay,
rep check. He'll kill you.
You need to feed him a fake scouting report.
Yeah.
And then do I just get to run around really fast?
That's the only move. Maybe
'Cause,
you're
like-
climbing the cage.
Yeah, like 'cause
ha!
they'll catch you eventually, but that way you might make it to like the 8 or 9 second mark. If you can like sprint around and be like, whoa, and like
Just like kneel down and start praying. And they're like, oh, I can't attack
just
a
give
guy
him a
who's
little shake and
praying.
bake, you know?
Keep praying. Round
like-
2, prayer.
treat it like a bear attack. Like let him get one clean look. Like maybe he gets you like in the arm or something, and you just go like,
No UFC
Asshole.
fighter will ever expect you to start in the fetal position.
Yeah.
One thing
Oh, your M-Chuck's doing his patented move. He's burst into tears, folks.
oh no, he's crying again.
Oh,
Third straight
dear.
fight.
He's asking the ref to stop the fight. He's hiding behind the ref, folks. This is a shameful display.
Bag Milk is punching himself in the face. It is now over.
Liam's crying. He bet everything he had on your M-Chuck for reasons only he understands. I thought he had a good fight in him.
I always think it's crazy when guys are just clearly about to get their arm snapped and they're just not tapping. If someone ever grabbed me in that position, I'd be tapping everything.
Yeah.
Feet would be going.
I think I'm
both
going to get out of
hands
this.
if I could.
Do
I'd
you
be
really?
tapping before he even got his hands
Oh,
on me.
yeah.
I'd tap 4 blocks from the arena.
Yeah.
I'd be driving up, be like, you know what? I like the way the sun's setting. Tap out.
All
Sir,
I want
I'm
to do really,
I'm an
at the
Uber
end-
driver. You can't tap out to me. Sir,
Yeah.
I've tapped out.
all I really want to do at the end of the day is get my walkout song, and then I'm tapping.
My walkout song will be like
Doing one of these in the corner, you know, cheering for myself.
ASMR noises from YouTube, eh? Just a
Just a guy eating
rainstorm. You
pickles.
walk out to that. Ooh,
Mine would
calming.
be Boosie Badazz. Probably Vlad TV, whatever that song is.
Boosie Badazz told the story once where he, lean, like how rappers drink promethazine cough syrup.
Yes.
No.
Liam,
I
come on.
don't know that.
Yes, you do.
Why would I know that?
Double
Why?
cup lean?
Double cup lean.
You a Jolly Rancher?
I pet
Oh,
him.
dear.
Okay, well, anyway.
Go
we'll
on,
get
what
there.
is
Boosie
it?
Badazz in jail had like a multi-gallon jug of lean in his cell at all times because the prisons down there were so corrupt.
Hmm.
And he said that when he got in, when he got into jail, he maxed out everyone on his like block's commissary account because like the king is here. It's cool.
So what is it?
Lean?
It's essentially
Yeah.
cough syrup, Sprite, and Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, and you
Oh.
drink it, and then it's a sedative, and it eats away your stomach lining, and it never ends well for anybody.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it.
Anyways, he did it in jail
Well,
because he's a
one
G.
place to do it.
All right.
That's why Lil Wayne kept collapsing, allegedly, in my opinion.
Having all them seizures.
Mhm.
Yes.
To the other end of the athletic spectrum from UFC, we go to the US Open of golf.
They're pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. On my Betway account, I have 5 players that I wagered on to win this tournament.
Okay.
John Rahm, Justin Thomas, Corey Connors, Mackenzie Hughes, and Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler is currently in the lead. So I'm happy about that. Shout out to Betway 19+. Please play responsibly. I love a good golf major. I got my charts at home. My girlfriend also likes wagering on golf. So me and her have like our strategy session the night before a major where we sit there with our notes that we've taken throughout the day. And we both like compare what we're doing, who we're betting on.
You two are meant for each other.
Let me ask you a question.
We really are.
I'm on Betway right now, and I'm looking at some of their bets here for the U.S. Open. What does first round 3 balls mean?
It's those 3 guys,
Yeah.
and you're picking which one of them is going to have the best score.
When you walk up to the first tee, the greeter goes low and feels. And if he feels 3 balls, he holds a
disqualified.
yellow flag up.
Yep.
And everybody who's bet on the 3 ball, they win. If he holds a green flag up, it means he has 2 balls.
Good to go.
If he holds a blue flag up, it means he has no balls.
One or less, anyway.
That's how majors work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get mad at me.
You know what I did today, Tyler?
What?
Bought tickets to the Heritage Classic.
That's
Really?
How
Pray
much
for you
money do you
financially.
have, Bag
Yeah.
Cream?
Oh, I'm good. I'm never going to financially recover from this.
I am shocked.
They are unbelievable.
How the fuck do people have, what was it, $400 a seat?
So where I'm sitting, I got the $200 seats. And if you're listening to this and going, ha ha, Bag Milk, you know where the $200 there. I'm up in the corner, very high. I'm not going to be able to see shit. Remember where we sat for Winnipeg roughly? For
Down
the Heritage
low.
Classic?
Down low.
Those tickets are $900 plus.
How the fuck is this happening?
I have no idea. I literally logged in today and laughed out loud when I saw Commonwealth, the seating chart. It is wild. So you're up, upper bowl, way up, like towards the bottom of the upper bowl. If you go in the middle of the field, those are 300 plus.
You know what I don't like about this? I don't like all the little kids. Like, if you're a family,
You're never going to go.
How the fuck
You're never going
are
to
you
go.
going to drop $1,200 for a family of 4 to go to a game?
Impossible. I was talking about that with my group chat because one of the guys wanted to bring his son, and he goes, "Well, I guess I can't, or the kid's not going."
That's an option.
Dad wants some pops.
It's not good. It's not good. It
It
doesn't
is
grow the
wild.
game, man. It doesn't grow the game.
$900 to sit lower bowl in center field.
And 50% of families don't have $500
Yeah.
for a one-time emergency expense. So said the news.
It is wild.
We got lower bowl seats up in this bitch going for $20 million.
And you don't really see that much in an outdoor game. I just want to be there is ultimately the reason I did it. But like the tickets are
I feel like since the you know what,
outrageous.
they've come back and tickets to everything. It's like, I didn't tour for 3 years. Now Crosby, Stills, and Nash tickets are $1,000 each. Like, what
Yep.
the fuck?
Well, especially as David Crosby died, so now they got to haul him around.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah, shit. Did you hear that Beyonce opening up her tour in Sweden caused inflation to return to Sweden?
Jesus.
I read a thing about it today. So
boy.
the Renaissance tour started in Stockholm, and so many Americans flew over and stayed in all their hotels and shit that all the restaurants and hotel prices went bananas, and it led to Swedish inflation recommencing, and they're blaming Beyonce.
The BBC is reporting on this.
See?
This is real.
That's the Queen's News Service.
The Beehive.
Two?
The
What
Beehive
does Black
flocked.
TV have to say about it?
Well, he'll check in.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, we got to give some love to AMA Travel. Are you trying to see Beyonce in Sweden, but hate the inflation? AMA Travel can help you save on that trip.
Yep.
Even get you the rental car. You'll be driving on the other side of the road with the steering wheel in a different spot. So get ready, but still they can help.
Not in Sweden.
Oh, really? They drive same side as us in Sweden?
Yeah. It's just England and Burkina Faso.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, once you get to Wales,
You turn over.
yeah, you. have
But
to
all the
cross.
signs are illegible.
Swedish.
Yes.
all in one.
really
side
long.
of the road.
The first line of the BBC article: thought the war in Ukraine or supply chain snarls were to blame for rising prices? You must not know about Beyonce.
Told you. This is what I learned
big.
before I texted you about Boosie Badazz bag milk.
On September 3rd, 1967, Sweden made the change, driving from the left to the right.
So what do we drive here? The
The right.
right. So
As you can imagine, the story says, realscandinavia.com. As you might imagine, this switch was anything but easy.
Oh, yeah. There's a photo somewhere you can
There's
find.
a photo.
I can't-
You have people crashing into each
yeah,
other.
what, I remember what country it is, but
Yeah,
they're flipping over.
I've seen the photo too. Yeah,
I drove on the left-hand side of the road in Australia. It was fucked up, man.
I did too. Like when I was there, I rented a I rented a car. It's fucking
awesome.
gnarly. I
And
can't
like
do
going
it.
up to the roundabouts on the wrong side of the road and shit. I'm like, someone's gonna die.
My brain just doesn't compute it. So I was just like, I can't drive here.
The pictures when you look up Sweden switching sides of the road, yeah, they're exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah.
Pile-ups.
Well, yeah.
Think how big the beehive is, though, to like move the needle on inflation.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Price of milk's going up because Beyonce has 2 shows. in
Beyonce
Stockholm.
ordered eggs in Oslo, and suddenly there's none to be had. Who was saying that they ran out of pink paint for the?
Oh, that's because the Barbie
Look
movie.
that up.
Yeah.
That's real.
I
Oh,
know.
straight up? You didn't make that up?
No, it's real.
Yeah, no, that was the real deal. I had one other thing from that little segment that I wanted to bring up.
What's that?
What's the movie called again? Oppenheimer?
Yeah, Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Apparently, Christopher Nolan's coming out being like, if you watch this movie in IMAX, it feels like a real nuclear blast. So what does that feel like exactly? Like
Wow.
how intense are we
They
getting?
release radiation into the
Yeah,
theater to make it more realistic.
Seats just get red hot. Oh boy.
Handful of people just drop right there in the theater.
I went